Hello and welcome everyone to CSC Core Concepts in the series of Machine Learning Algorithms with implementation in RStudio. In this video, I am going to demonstrate the linear discriminant analysis in RStudio. So let's get started with that. In case if you have missed my video on the theory explanation of LDA, please go through the video so that it will be helpful for you to understand the working of LDA. The dataset which I will be using here is our iris dataset where we have four features: sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width, and which will decide the species of iris flower. So here we have three categories of iris flower, that is iris setosa, iris versicolor and iris virginica. So let us get started with the implementation. So the first of all, we are going to include the library files. So the library file which we are going to use for performing linear discriminant analysis is psych file. And of course, we are going to use the modern applied statistics file also, library also, so that we can use some of the features. Okay, so let us first create our data frame, that is read.csv. We can create our data frame which will give us a clear idea as what is your data looks like. So there are 150 observations of 5 variables, and you can see the structure of the data. So the structure of the data has 4 variables, each of type number, and the last one is character. But since we have discussed that LDA is a supervised learning technique, so classes are important. So here what we have to do is that we have to convert this variable factor or the feature factor into a categorical variable, right? So because we require, it is actually character, we require it to be categorical. So I'm converting it into factor variable, right? Now, first of all, let us have a look at the correlation analysis, that how does it looks like. Okay, so pairs that dot panel, let us have a look at the iris data. So we are going to just plot the first 4 features. Okay, so let's see how they are correlated to each other with some colors. Okay, let's say green and let's say a blue color. Okay, and iris data, species, is equals to 21. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so you can see the graph over here. So we have okay, so the highest correlation is between the petal length and the petal width, that is 0.96. This minus 0.11 is the correlation between sepal length and sepal width. Between sepal length and petal length, the correlation is 0.87. So we can make out that sepal width is negatively correlated, okay, with all 3 of them, and others are highly correlated among each other. So let us split the data into 2 parts so that we can we can use the model. So split data into sample, 2 samples of number of row iris data. Let's say replace is equals to true, and the splitting, we let us make it 60-40. Let's see, we have let us try it. Okay, 1 minute, we have to use a bracket here. Okay, so train data is equals to, we will see that the first one sample belongs to first part will belong to train data, second will belong to test data, Okay, so we have created two more data frames. So test train data contains 92 observations and test data contains 58 observations. Now let us apply LDA. So let's give a name to our model iris LDA, and the function is going to be LDA. So we are going to have the species against all the columns, and for the data is our train data. Okay, so let's see iris underscore LDA. Yeah, so you can see some of the data is being given over here. That is probabilities of data in each group it is giving. Okay, so it is going to maximize the probability among the classes. Like, so these are the group average. Okay, group average of iris setosa for sepal length, group average of sepal width for iris setosa, and so on. Okay, so LD1 and LD2 are the two coefficients. Here we can see LD1, 2 are been created because there are three classes here. Understood? There are three classes, so there will be two linear discriminants will be created. So LD1 and LD2 are being created. So this is the coefficient. So first discriminant function is a linear combination of four variables. Okay, proportion of trace. You can see here proportion of trace, percentage separation achieved by first discriminant to the second discriminant. How much difference has been achieved within the two discriminant analysis, discriminant axis. Okay, attributes. Let's see iris LDA. If you want to see some of the attributes, you can see them in detail. Okay, so these are the attributes which you can see. So if you are having iris, let's say if you want to see prior. So what does it mean? So the percentage of species in training data, sorry, iris underscore LDA dollar prior. This is one of the attribute you can see. Okay, so percentage of proportion of sorry, percentage of the species in the training data. Then let's say number of species if you want to see in each of the classes. So iris underscore LDA, you can see the count. So in each classes you have 30, 26, 30, 26 and 36, right? So this is the count which you are getting for the training data. Now if you want to perform the prediction, let's say P is equals to predict using this data iris underscore LDA. For the training data, if you want to perform the predictions, we can do so. Let's see. This is the predictions. Okay, now you have to set the margin because your values are going in a negative direction. So let's say for example, P is equals to P of margin C yeah, sorry, it is PAR. Okay, the function is PAR of margin. Then you can of course see the histogram of plotting using LD1. Okay, let us see the first one. Okay, first component LD1. We can create a histogram. Data is equals to the predictions which we have done, comma 2 for both the all we want to see, and G is equals to the train data and the species. Okay, let's see the histogram. So this is your histogram. You can see now in this histogram what uh, you can see the predictions how they are going to come. Okay, so this is the histogram of the first one. So there is an overlap, right? You can see there is of course an overlap among the classes, right? Now let us do the histogram. This I have created using the second one, sorry. First I should have written one. Okay, let us first do it using the first one, PS1. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so you can see the first one histogram. Yeah, so you can see the histogram is very nice here because there is no overlap between the first and the second class, and there is very mild overlap between the second and the third class. So that means what LD1 component has been very has been pretty much doing good for separating the classes. But when we have seen with the second component, it could not do so well because you can see much of the overlap is there. Understood? Much overlap among the data points in the classes is there. Okay. So high percentage is there. So no overlap in first of all, but second and third is going to overlap. Right. Now let us see the predictions for the test class. Okay, table we can see, no? Okay, so tab is equals to table. Predicted is equals to P, and actual is equals to train data species. Okay, so we have to do the prediction in this way. P1 is equals to predict iris LDA. Train data, you want to have a prediction for the classes we are doing, and you can create the, yeah, so table is been created. So we can say tab. So you can see the table. So 30 all correctly predicted for iris setosa. Second 25 we have seen in the histogram, right? There was no overlap. So for versicolor there is one overlapping. Okay, one is wrong, and for virginica also one is wrong, right? You can of course see the sum of the diagonal of the table divided. This is for your classification error, or you can say the accuracy, right? So 97.8% accuracy you are getting. So same thing you can do it for the test class also. Let's do it. So we can say this is P2 predict iris LDA. This will become your test data for the class. So table 2 is equals to predicted P2 and actual data of the test data species, and table 2. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the table you are getting 20, 23 and 14. So the misclassification error is very small and the accuracy is 98%, which we have received using LD model, right? So this is how we created two components, LD1 and LD2, and we have seen that how does your LD1 and LD2 are varying. So most of the data are over. So LD1 has not been so successful, but LD2 has been able to create very few overlaps between the classes. So I hope you understood this linear discriminant analysis, and please try it, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to CSE Core Concepts. Thank you.